What do the Skins do defensively with Beckham?
I think you double him anytime Josh Norman's not on him. Like, you have to have safety help over the top of Greg Stroman. There should never be a situation where you're playing cover 3 and Stroman is, or man, with a single high safety, and Stroman's one-on-one, because he's bitten on so many of these double moves that are way worse than anything Odell Beckham's going to, or way not close to what Odell Beckham can throw at you as a route runner. He is so talented, so gifted physically in terms of his speed, his acceleration, his ability to change directions and shift and things like that. But he's also really smart and understands leverage and how to get on a guy's outside or inside hip and make him turn the way he wants. So if you're going to have Beckham on Stroman because you're in zone, you better have someone else over there. Or even play, quarter, half or something like that, where technically the safety's not right over the top, but he's in the neighborhood. I think that is the biggest thing. With Norman, you just got to be like, look, dude, we're paying you a ton of money. You better be able to lock up. And because you're going to need the resources to be able to stop Barkley as well. It'd be easier if you knew if it was run or pass before the play, but that's not how this works. And so, for Odell, the other thing is they've got to just tackle him. He's so good after the catch. For as good of a route runner and as spectacular as he is at catching the ball, his gift, as Jay Gruden described it yesterday, is that when the ball is in the air to go get it anywhere outside of his frame. He's also a tremendous runner. And so the Redskins have been really good at tackling immediately this year and not missing tackles, but he gets going on a slant, things like that. You cannot let him get loose, because the reason those stats are the way they are, Jason, as you well know, is because their offensive line is terrible. They have to score with big plays. They can't sustain drives because over the course of 8, 9, 10, up to 13, whatever plays, you're going to give up a sack or a penalty that's going to get you behind the chains, and you're going to have to punt because their offensive line's not good enough. But they can get the one big play, the more random type of thing, and that's how they're going to have to score.
Craig, what's the latest update, if any, on Quinton Dunbar's health?
It's not good. Not necessarily long-term concerning, but he hasn't been able to run yet. He's every time he does, he experiences pain. His leg can't stand up to sprinting, and that's obviously not good enough to play football. So it's weird because they described it as a nerve issue. I don't know exactly what that means, but when guys have had nerve stuff in the past, you think like Corey Lichtensteiger, their center a couple years ago. It's 3, 4, 5 weeks sometimes because that nerve if there's damage, it has to regenerate. So it could be a couple of weeks for Dunbar, which is really frustrating, obviously, and leaves you pretty exposed at corner.
What about the other guys? Like, can you kind of give us a total injury sort of update?
Yeah, so Crowder, I think, is out this weekend. So far, so good for Richardson. He's responded well in a couple days. The week off seemed to do him some real good. The question is when he plays again on Sunday, does that then cause him to miss the next week? How much damage does he do week in, week out on that knee? Thompson, it's the ribs. It's not the knee. He's got a knee issue, too, that's hindering him a little bit, but he can play through that. The ribs that he took that shot on the two-point conversion in New Orleans, that's what's kept him out. He's done more team stuff this week than he did last week, which is hopeful, but I'm not willing to get my hopes up on Chris after the last 2 weeks where I got him up a little bit and then he didn't wind up playing. Obviously, those hopes deteriorated through the week last week when he didn't continually ramp up. I think we'll have a lot better view on Thompson today when we ask Jay, like, what did Chris actually do in practice? And if it's teamwork and he was out there for a decent amount of it, I think he'll play on Sunday. If not, then they probably hold him out one more week. The offensive line guys are all good to go despite playing through injury, and that's 3 of them, Laval, Sheriff, and Moses. And then I think that's everybody unless there's Brown's been sick the last couple of days, but he's going to be fine for Sunday.
A little too much partying this week?
It was his birthday on Tuesday. Then he missed the next 2 days of practice. Ooh. I don't know if those dots connect. I've not been able to confirm, but those are facts that exist separately.
Real quick, we were talking about the Skins. All right, so the trade deadline's Tuesday, I think at 4. All right, there's been a couple trades, obviously, with the Giants. They got rid of Apple and Snacks Harrison. Kind of depending on how the Skins play offensively on Sunday, do you think that they're talking to any other teams about adding to the roster or no?
I think that it depends on injury more than it does performance. I think that if Richardson's knee does not respond well, and if Crowder by Monday still looks like he's a couple weeks away, that you could see them go after a receiver. Or if like Floyd or Quick is just awful and you're like, man, all right, we need something else. I think that could be a potential move as well. I think if like Laval were to get hurt again, I think you could look at something at left guard or at center. And then move Rouillet over. Although I think Bergstrom was actually, I think the problem when they had the other offensive line in Bergstrom at center, Rouillet at left guard was more Rouillet at left guard than Bergstrom at center. But I don't really see anywhere else where it'd be worth it. I mean, look, they're going to explore everything. They're always going to have talks. But that doesn't necessarily mean those talks are going to lead anywhere serious and that they're going to wind up having anything other than internal discussions. They're talking, they're exploring, they know what's out there, but the chance that they pull the trigger as of right now, I don't think is very high. That could change dramatically on Sunday based off injuries.
How many carries does AP get on Sunday?
I think 20 plus. That's what they would want.
Yep.
They want to shorten this game, and you know, again, the less possessions the Giants have, the less chances they have to get a big play. So same strategy as it's been. Does that mean that, you know, what you can't do Sunday is go big play hunting. You have to beat them with ruthless execution and just repeated ruthless execution. You are the better team. Go out there, run the ball, get 4, get 5, occasionally get 10. You know, if you get 2-on-1, whatever, just do it again. And then, you know, maybe get a couple more plays in the passing game, and you're going to wind up winning 28-14 because the Giants just aren't very good. So I think that they'll probably hand it to him a good amount, you know, 17-22, probably somewhere in there. It might depend on if Thompson plays too. You know, maybe he gets involved a little bit more on some outside carries, and that could bring AP's number down a little bit. But it's going to depend on that.